Dziękuję za zaproszenie.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this invitation. My perspective, my point of view will be slightly different. I will look at this issue from the point of view of national parliaments and national governments. Because I think we can safely say that we are all federalists nowadays, even though we may not want it. We say that the European Union has priority competences in these areas which are dealt with by the community method. And if we're talking about the yellow card or the red card procedure, this is a procedure which would make it possible for the local entities, organs to protest, to express some kind of protest. But in fact, the treaties do not provide for that. The treaties say something different. This logic is quite deeply rooted in our heads, in our way of thinking. And it is largely a result of an atrophy or the disappearance of national administrations, rather than an excessive growth of the European administration. In the areas which are dealt with by the European Union, we see that the local capacity, the local potential of the local national administrations is slowly disappearing. So first of all, the best and the most ambitious officials plan their career in Brussels. They want to move to Brussels and work there. And also, these European issues are treated somewhere on the margins of the national policy. If you had asked a year ago different politicians, national politicians, about the position of their government on TTIP, I think, and you would have found out that most of the member states had no position on the TTIP because it is something that the European Commission deals with. It's something that is dealt with somewhere far away in Brussels and will be done on our behalf. The topic of the TTIP has come back to the political agenda mostly because of the civil society and because of the leftist organizations rather than the right. So this process takes place spontaneously. The potential of the national administrations is shrinking. And there are two exceptions. The first one are the big member states, which have very important national interests. And the second exception is the area of the agricultural policy. The agricultural policy being the key policy of most old member states. Of course, and other important factors are the traditions of a national administration, the position of national administration within the political system of a given country. But this process is particularly risky, dangerous to medium-sized and small member states, as these and there the administration is shrinking. We can see this in Ireland, for example. Ireland, which is often quoted as this good student when it comes to influencing the European policy. When the crisis hit the financial services sector, so crucial to the Irish economy, it turned out that this country was basically deprived of tools it needed to react to the proposals given to it by the European Union. And there are two possible solutions in this situation. One is to be a big member state, but to be a big member state with huge vested interest in Brussels. Maybe it is a possibility still open to Poland, but most countries will never manage to be big. And they don't have to be big because they don't have many, a very large European agenda. A second thing is to turn the clock a bit and to change the treaties and to change the competences of the European Union and its institutions. This, of course, is not realistic either, not in the present political circumstances. So, to conclude, I'd like to suggest a third solution, which will not be welcomed by the European Parliament and the committee in which Mr. Ujazdowski sits. What do I mean? We need changes that will be effective. So what should be done is work on strengthening the potential of the national administrations on the national level. When we're talking about strengthening the role of the national parliaments in the European decision-making process, well, you can say that the national parliaments are not using their existing competences to the full. Most national parliaments do not have appropriate tools to follow what's coming up from Brussels, what's going to land on their tables. The European agenda is overburdened, and the national parliaments need the help of their governments in managing these issues. Because obviously it's difficult to expect that the national parliaments will build their own administration to deal with the European issues. So the national parliaments need the help of the national governments, and this, I think, is a main task for the center-right parties. We need to strengthen the potential of the national administration dealing with the European issues. Of course, building bureaucracy will never be popular, but I think this is money well spent. And I think also we need some prospects for those officials who decide not to move to Brussels, but rather to stay in Warsaw, in Riga, in order to build the subsidiarity principle on the ground. And these people will be able to build the European agenda within the member states. Thank you very much.